I'm Baptiste. I'm Jonathan Coulton. Buying my music. Specifically on Rock Band Network. So we're going to be talking about Rock Band Network, coincidentally. Over here we have Matthew Nordhaus, aka Nord.
We love you, Nord!
He's sort of the producer of the whole thing and amazing. Right next to him we have Caleb Epps. He's one of our very talented audio engineers and has worked really hard on this project as well, and he'll be showing you all the technical stuff that I don't understand. Then there's me. I have no cashable skills. Then, of course, to my left, the man who popularized the 1st of May, Jonathan Coulton. So you want to take it away, Nord?
Roger that.
I love it.
So my name's Matthew Nordhaus, and I started working at Harmonix about 18 months ago, and my gig was to do the Rock Band Network from the first day I was there. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about why we're doing it, a very little bit about how we're doing it, and then Caleb's going to give you a much more detailed introduction to it. And then I'm going to tell you some amusing anecdotes that happened during the development of the Rock Band Network, and then Jonathan is going to sing a song for you. So when Alex and Iran, our glorious leaders, founded Harmonix about 15 to 20 years ago, their mission statement was they wanted to bring the joy of creating music to non-musicians. And when we made Rock Band, and before that Guitar Hero, one thing we discovered was that one of the side effects of making those games was that people tended to expose themselves to types of music that they wouldn't normally listen to. And so there are hundreds and thousands of bands that we as musicians and music fans of Harmonix love and that you love that are never going to be able to make it into Rock Band Network, and they're going to be toiling away in anonymity more or less, like playing the second worst rave ever. And I didn't ask. And so one of the things we're hoping will happen with this, because we're giving the tools to the community to create their own music, and literally, like if you're a band or label, we're giving you a set of documents and tools to put your own music into Rock Band and sell it to people on Xbox Live and PlayStation, and hopefully on the Wii, if we can figure out how to do it. But we really want to bring more music to everybody, and one of the things that we hope will happen as a result of this is we hope that we're going to expand the things that are offered in Rock Band. So, you know, genres that are unrepresented in Rock Band, we're hoping that there will be more of that type of music. We think that super niche genres...
Yes!
which have a loud following, sort of blossom. We're hoping that people will take this in a direction that we don't expect and maybe do things that you wouldn't normally associate with Rock Band. And finally, my boss, Greg LaPiccolo, has been really pushing this one genre for years. I'm pretty sure that this is his chance to finally get klezmer music into Rock Band. This slide, I actually don't have anything to, this has nothing to do with my presentation, but I just really like XKCD, and so I thought I'd put this slide in my presentation. So I'm going to tell you, like, there are basically 4 big chunks of work that you have to do to get your music into Rock Band. The first thing that you do is you use a program called Reaper, and we partnered with the guys who make Reaper, who are really cool. They have this insanely good digital audio workstation that does audio and MIDI. It's very reasonably priced at $60, which compares fairly favorably to a Pro Tools setup if you've ever priced one of those. And basically you take your audio tracks, your multi-track mixes from when you recorded your band, and you mix it in Reaper and you create MIDI information. And Caleb's going to show you a lot more about that. And the MIDI information controls animations and lighting and cues on stage, as well as the regular notes that you play in the game. And you can do this. We have a whole bunch of really robust documents that we're basically giving all of our secret sauce out to everybody in the world to teach them how to make Rock Band tracks. So once you do that, you import all those audio and MIDI files into this program we make called Magma, which runs on the PC. And we named it Magma. I'm not going to tell you why we named it Magma, but 10 points to anyone who can figure it out.
It's hot because it's hot.
No, it's because that's where rock. It's because it's where rock comes from.
We're wicked funny.
We actually, no, listen. We actually developed a whole application so I could tell you that joke. So you put it into Magma, you assemble it into a song file that you can transfer to your Xbox. So we're releasing a patch to Rock Band 2 shortly, which will enable audition mode, and you can actually send it from your PC to your 360 locally, and you can try it out in audition mode, which is very similar to a regular gameplay. And once you do that, and you're happy with it, you actually upload it to the Creators Club website, which is creators.rockband.com. So we've partnered with Microsoft and used their XNA technology, what they use for their indie games initiative, to allow a peer review process to filter out profanity and make sure that no one's trying to upload Led Zeppelin covers. And we are, once it's approved for peer review, once it's gone through the peer review process and approved, it's automatically put up on the Xbox Live Marketplace, and then it's sold in an in-game store in Rock Band 2, which is also part of the patch. And that has a lot more filtering functions and ways to browse the content than our existing store. And you can go in there and you can find songs, you can demo songs for free, and then you can buy them. And the last step, of course, for the band is to make money. And
You figured out a step?
everyone gets 30%. The band gets 30% of any money, any sales of the tracks. Yeah, so it's basically a totally level playing field. Everyone has the same shot at stardom as everyone else. We're bringing the songs to PS3 and Wii as soon as we can, basically. There's some technical hurdles we need to uncover, but the lead SKU is Microsoft and the 360 because of the authoring power that they have in this system for the peer review. Okay, now anecdotes. So the first thing is, there was a New York Times story about the rock band Beatles, and they mentioned that they mentioned that during the development, we called it Rock Band Nickelback, and the quote on here is, Harmonix knew they had something so big on their hands that in order to keep it under wraps, they had to give it a name that nobody would be interested in.
True story.
Now, I mentioned I've been working on this project since the first day. I swear to God, I've never heard the term Rock Band Nickelback until it was printed in the New York Times. And Nickelback has said some fairly derogatory things about music rhythm games in general, but I just want to extend an olive branch and let them know that if they do want to get their songs into rock bands... Listen, it's peer review, so you can all vote it down. So the next anecdote is about Score Hero. So some of you probably know who they are. They're like this set of really, really good rock band players and magnificent geeks in their own right, they're really rabid fans, and they're a great community of guys. And we brought them in to check out our system early this year before we had really shown it to anybody else. And we had them sign an NDA, and we gave them sort of a very general concept of what we're doing, but no details. And we flew them up to Cambridge, and they came up on the first morning of our meetings, and one of them talked to Sean, and he said, you know, I really hope that this is worth it for us to fly up here. Like, there's a whole range of stuff you could do. And on the bottom end, it's like GH tunes. It's like the worst thing you could do. And on like the best thing ever would be if you could like take your multi-track recordings and mix them, and then like make a MIDI of the gameplay, and then like audition it on your Xbox, and then like sell it on Xbox Live. And so then we told them what we were doing.
I think so.
And they were totally psyched. So when I started work on this, there was a lot of stuff that was really like unclear about the whole process. I mean, like, we were in a lot of uncharted territory. So like a good producer and a former programmer, the first thing I did was make a flow chart. And so, you know, I figured that this would like clarify things, and a lot of people could look at it and like figure out how it was going. And so what's that?
You make it bigger. It's a size fail.
We'll get there.
We'll get there, don't worry. And so I started talking to people on the team, and it got a little bit more complicated, and I talked to more people on the team, and it got more complicated, and I don't know what happened there, and then we started coding stuff, and then we talked to the net team, then we talked to Microsoft, and then we actually implemented it, and honestly, at this point, I gave up. So this was my final version, and it doesn't even capture like most of the interactions between our game and like the Rock Central servers where all the online leaderboards and ratings are done. But at this point, it was just too complicated to go any further. So my final anecdote is a really, really great post on our forum. So we were super secretive about the whole project, and about 3 days before we launched, after 18 months of like paranoia and we were terribly afraid of a leak, this guy JJDude1 posted on our forums on rockband.com, and the post was entitled "The Future of Rock Band DLC," and I'm going to read you some of his post here. There is an uncountable number of bands out there wishing they could debut their songs on Rock Band. They may never get a chance, though, because they're too obscure, but what if they could get their chance? I can see in a few years from now, in a few Rock Band sequels, Harmonix developing a special program that allows the band to take their own master recordings and program their own note charts onto Rock Band. So the band takes their recordings and uploads each track onto a computer and adds it to this program. Someone sets up the notes for the chart of each difficulty level. Then you upload the finished product to a special section of the music store as a DLC selection. At first it won't be used much, note charts will be sloppy, and there will be the occasional song where the note chart is like OMG WTF BBQ. But in time there will be a large selection of DLC for all the obscure bands who probably wouldn't have gotten noticed otherwise. So we had a really good laugh about this.
I crapped my pants, because I thought he actually knew what was going on and was leaking it in the most subversive way possible.
And then the responses came in, and they were universal. So I'm going to read you 3 of the responses I pulled from the thread. The first one: we will also have flying cars by the 1960s. If Harmonix could develop such a program, they would, but they won't because they can't.
Take that.
Cost to chart. This is an old topic, but I estimate about $10,000 in labor to chart and QA a song. Number 2, I can't see HMX or any company in their right mind giving software to labels or indie groups to chart their own songs. Number 3, well, it is a unique concept in terms of the band doing the work, but it is probably not practical. So I just want to, you know, if you guys go home and blog or post about this, I just want you to think very carefully about what you're going to say. So the original poster continued his original post. It says, a large band or well-known artist wants to be in Rock Band. More people begin to use the program, and there's a large increase in the number of songs. People begin to become professional note charters and are actually being hired to chart songs for the band. Small businesses who chart songs begin to open up, and the number of these songs slowly and surely catches the number of actual DLC Harmonix is putting out. This is how I view the future of Rock Band DLC. So in that respect, that has already happened. There are these cottage industries who have already cropped up who are charting songs for bands, and we're really excited about it. I certainly hope that the rest of his prophecy comes true, and I hope that you guys join us because the next step is world domination. So thank you.